RIN TV coverage of the 2015 European Insurance Forum is brought to you by the Dublin International Insurance and Management Association. For decades, data and technology have been instrumental in the effective assessment and underwriting of risk, but the pace of change in recent years, remarkable. We spoke with Harry Goddard about the pace of change during the European Insurance Forum. He is head of technology at Deloitte and had this to say.
I think the pace of change of technology and data feels like it's quickening because of the consumerization of particularly data and technology today, and I think the way in which companies are able to commercialize the applications that they're now developing. I think three trends are really affecting the insurance industry, and that's digital, big data and analytics. I think digital is particularly interesting as consumers become more sophisticated in their requirements for how they engage with companies and service providers and the available technology that they have access to. So we're seeing life insurance companies in particular, for example, using digital services on tablet and mobile applications to engage with their customers in a much more rich and engaging manner. So at Deloitte we describe FinTech as being the application of technology in financial services. And I think there are two ways in which this is happening. One is whereby financial services firms, or in particular technology firms, are disrupting the financial services industry. And the other is where financial services firms are being a bit more proactive and are engaging in the adoption of new technologies, either through investments that they're making or the establishment of incubators within their own businesses, and are really trying to optimize the business that they're in. So we think that the opportunity for the insurance sector is to look at some of its peers in the retail banking, for example, or the investment management sector, where digital and analytics are being used in a much richer manner than they are perhaps in insurance today, and use that as an opportunity to perhaps to think about how they will engage with their customers and with the market before they become disrupted themselves. Yeah, so I think the two things that kind of strike me that we're seeing in terms of change in the industry is really digital and big data, and I'll just deal with both of those separately. So we're seeing insurance companies in particular using digital to equip their salespeople such that they can have much more engaging conversations with their customers. And I think the next opportunity will be how they digitize their internal operations so that the engagement with the customer flows right through the organization in a much more cost-effective manner, and also enabling that organisation to get much better insight into how the customers are behaving and what their buying patterns are. I think on the big data side, one expression that we hear a lot in the industry today in technology is the Internet of Things, which is really how so many devices, both in our households and in the community, now have the capacity to share data and information. At Deloitte, we really think that's about ecosystems. So, for example, in a traffic management context, how your car might engage with the road, might engage with the traffic systems in your environment. That creates a sort of an ecosystem. And getting insight into that data is going to be extraordinarily important, we believe, in insurance in particular. And we've seen evidences of how clients of ours are now using technology like big data to process massive amounts of data from telematics, for example, and other sources to really understand where risk lies and where events occur where they need to take action a lot more quickly and a lot more effectively. I think the biggest challenge that industry executives will face in terms of technology, and in particular its pace of change, is really going to be one of culture. Technology has been evolving over many, many years. I think really the consumerization of technology more recently and the way in which it's disrupting business is what's having greatest effect. So having the culture internally within an organisation to understand how to adapt and to change and to become more agile to respond to the capabilities that are now available, provided or presented by technology. I think technology will shape the future of the insurance sector probably in two ways. One of the features of technology today is that it is disrupting the traditional supply chain between the consumer of a service and the provider of a service. Consumers are much better educated and are far better equipped to make choices about the types of services that they require. And we're seeing examples such as Airbnb, Halo and Uber, where organizations are providing technology that essentially disintermediates the supply chains of what were traditional businesses. That is one of the biggest single issues that I think the insurance sector is going to face, which is to say it will need to find a way to become far more relevant and meaningful to consumers, such that those consumers will seek insurance at a much earlier stage, particularly as those consumers become far more savvy in terms of their requirements and have far more choice in the future.
For more of our coverage of the 2015 European Insurance Forum, visit the DEMA website or the special 2015 EIF channel in the RIN TV On Demand library.